Okay. Hello, folks. Thank you for joining. It's a fine evening today. Right. Okay. So, am I audible? First of all, am I audible to the webinar attendees as well? Give a thumbs up, please. Okay. A raise of hands. I'll take it as a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is indeed, I think, a special edition of Geek Night because, like all of us, Geek Night also is back to office. So, yeah. So Geek Night is back to office, and thank you for all the folks who've decided to come and attend it in the office. This will be a good head start, to bring back Geek Night to its full, height again. And on this special occasion, we have, our friends from Freshworks come here and deliver us a talk on Freshworks Developer Platform. So I think it is better if I let them speak about it. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, Hari, for doing this, and thank you so much for letting to talk about all of this. So the thing what we're going to talk about here, so first thing, you just want to make a quick check. Am I audible very clearly, or do you want me to slow down? I want to speak loud. Maybe I move this closer. This is far better. And also, folks from the audience, sorry, folks from Zoom, am I audible well? Hopefully, yes. All right. Okay, I'll maintain a slow pace, but we'll cover the things faster. So over the time, I'm sorry, we missed the agenda, agenda slide. All right. So the first thing what we're going to talk mainly about, the essence of the Freshworks Developer Platform. And why is it something very, very much into the developer platform is because Freshworks has a suite of different products, which has, if you look into the set of Freshworks products here, we have the customer experience. You might have heard of this flagship product, Freshdesk, and also for messaging, Freshstat, Freshservice, sales, marketer, and team, which serves different purposes for different things, right? So, but when you look at the businesses, so if you look at only specific things of it, like Freshdesk, which are being used by SMBs, small and medium scale businesses, or even more, right? When they start using it, and no software is always the best fit for all the companies, right? All the businesses. So there's some way or the other way they want to customize it to their own needs. And they wanted to make it as a best fit, which serves all the problems or all the requirements that their businesses always has, right? So like, how do we approach this is where we are with the developer platform. So one of those things is if you look at the problems itself, there would be many. Let's suppose even for a specific thing like a hotel who is using Freshdesk, so they wanted to track their orders within Freshdesk itself. So they might be using another application which they use to track their orders. But given that the flexibility of the developer platform, where they can now use those external application methods or API endpoints or whatever they offer, can be able to integrate with Freshworks and see, use that as an app to do the things. And also, they can do things from communicate between different applications, right? So that's where the part of developer platform comes in. So, and then it also makes, so if you wanted to have something to be built or to be communicated between different applications, we always look for integrations. So now if I imagine I wanted to do something with Slack and Zoom, we look for integration. But what if there is no integration and you want to build something more beyond that, or even something that serves your needs, which might not be found in integration, right? So you would be able to do those things and such kind of all of that by using developer platform, by building apps for specific products of Freshworks as you need. So, and the whole point is to make you self-serving so that you can build the things what you want, right? So here are the things. So as I just keep on saying the same thing, but the developer platform serves directly or indirectly solving many problems for the businesses using those products. But to be very specific, what developer platform solve is mainly the integrations thing, customization of the product, and the automation within itself. So what I mean by this, integrations, as you're aware, and customization is something that you wanted to build things as you want. And automation is where you want to communicate between various things and make things work as the way you need, right? So here we go. So a few applications here to just give you an understanding what are these Freshworks apps. So one of the apps is like Atlassian Jira Plus, where they can connect with Freshdesk and then communicate with the both things. So create issues and tickets, right? So it goes around. And then the automation app as well. So the tickets field options is also another app that you could use to actually customize or modify your statuses of a few tickets or something. You'd get to understand more about this when you look into the apps portal itself. All right. So then I'll just quickly show you how the marketplace look like. So if you go to freshworks.com/apps. Okay, so this is the marketplace. So these are all the apps which are few were built by Freshworks itself, and which are built, and a lot of where are actually built by external developers or any of the businesses who hire developers to do it or some other way. So these are the things which are built by different developers with the help of the Freshworks Developer Platform, which means these apps are hosted by Freshworks itself. Right? They don't need to work on their self-hosting stuff. Nothing else that's needed. So the developer platform just conveys this thing. They can build apps and submit to the marketplace so that they will be listed here. And all of these are called public apps. We'll get into different types of apps as we move on, but I just want to let you know. So a few of the apps you can see here are called public apps or Freshworks apps, right? So far clear? Any questions? Thank you. Again, so here are a few perks of building things or building apps on top of Freshworks Developer Platform. If you look at traditional SaaS providers, maybe to name out a few, just like for an example purpose in terms of platform, if you look at a Google Play Store, for building apps for Android, you would definitely need a developer account, right? So which is kind of has some expenses related to it. Maybe it's a monthly quota or a joining fee or publishing fee or pricing plans or freemium mode and anything like that. But for making it's for businesses, and the platform for Freshworks goes around like you can sign up and develop a free, no limits on the number of users, installs, access, etc. And no hosting fees, all we take care, and the platform is what serves for that. And no annual charges and nothing else. So that's where, and just wanted to go give you more detailed understanding of the offerings. So here in terms of platform again, so when I say DigitalOcean and Freshworks, only look at the view of a platform on the hosting part of it. So a few things are like that. They charge for VMs, and you need to set the things up, and you configure a lot of stuff to what we call publish or deploy things into it. When it comes to the Freshworks Developer Platform, for building apps and publishing it to them, you would not need any of these configurations or credits or anything. So you would all need a trial account, and you can start doing things and build apps that serves the purpose. All right, so here is the kind of a big overview when you come to the Freshworks as an opportunity itself. So you can build apps as how you build apps for Android and publish it to Google Play Store. Now you can build apps for Freshworks products and then publish it to Marketplace. And as a choice of you can make that as a premium or a paid app, right? So where the developers can earn in return for the efforts that they put in for building an app that serves any purpose. So then again, for all of the products that you have seen, there is a part of theme building and also the portal customization. So they can actually do this as a part of their job. And then for the custom apps development, so as you have seen the marketplace apps, those are called public apps. And again, the other thing is also the custom apps, which we will look into as we move forward. But these are like, as the name suggests, right? Custom apps. So it's are built for specific requirement, and that too serves in itself. It need not to be public, and it need not to be serving any other needs. It just needs to serve a specific requirement, right? So then the implementation partner is another opportunity that Freshworks helps to find implementation partners for the businesses, or the other way, or the vice versa stuff is also happens. So this is a broad overview of how Freshworks offers the opportunity wise. All right, so why don't we actually see now on how we could actually build a app for Fresh Service, right? So you might be aware, so there is Fresh Desk, and there is another product, Fresh Service. So we will look into how we can actually build a simple app. Maybe you can call it your first app by just using the Freshworks Developer Kit, right? So to build a first app, you would need a few things. The one at the end, right? The FDK, we are calling it. So it's a Freshworks Developer Kit. So it's a SDK, or like a Freshworks CLI, where you will use that to build apps for Freshworks products, and you will host them on the platform. So this is the kind of an idea I want to bring in. But before we jump on, let you know what are this and how we can build our first app, I'm curious to take any questions in terms of understanding the platform or the app stuff or any other things. All good? All right. So are there any questions from online? I'm not sure. All right, super. So we would need a node to run the Freshworks Developer Kit. And again, we would be needing node version manager to different node versions. But for FDK, essentially, we would need node version 14. Okay. So if I open up my terminal, I hope you're able to see this. Okay. So the command that we will use to create a Freshworks app is FDK. So we can call the SDK with FDK. So it's Freshworks Developer Kit, and you say FDK and enter. So after installing, if this shows, it's a confirmation that it's ready to use and it's installed well enough. So now you can say FDK create. So now once you say FDK create, it shows up a list of products that you are wanting to build apps for. So now in my case, I'm going to build an app for Fresh Service, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select the Fresh Service as an option. And on selecting that, it will give me a choices to generate a template. So I'm going to choose the first option, your first app. This on selecting this, I would get a template that I can run and see how the app looks like. So now this generated a file with all of this. It generated a file with all of these files inside. So which is app folder, style, config, log, and most of them are self-explanatory. So app is the folder that you could build, set the things into it, and configuration and the logs is all very much explanatory. And if you see manifest.json is where you can see the product as Fresh Service and the location. You would get to know more, but I'm just giving you a heads up. All right, so this is the app. So these are this is how the app folder looks like. So to run this, all we need to do is to FDK run, right? Once you do this, it starts running up. But to show you how this looks like, I want to take you to the Fresh Service account. So this is Fresh Service. You can sign up for free and you can try it along with me if you are ready to install that. But so the app, what we are going to build will be in the ticket sidebar. So these are the list of tickets. Yes, there are 3 tickets here. If you get inside one, you see the sidebar here, right? So this is the whole thing here is the sidebar. And the app, what we are going to build is going to be here, showing up here to use it. So as now you can see, there is no app running here, but you'll get to identify how an app actually looks like when you run it. And here, if I say FDK run now, it got an error. Okay, the port is already in use in a different tab. VS Code, okay. All right. FDK run. All right, so it started running. And to view this app, if you go to the Fresh service account here, to view this app, you have to append question mark dev is equals to true. So now this enables the developer mode so that it shows the apps that are running in the local. So now if you can see, there is a Fresh service app here, right? So if I open this up, you can see the congratulations on building your first app, right? So with this, the one which is running here is actually coming from here, right? If you see this also notation, it's asking to add append dev is equals to true so that it turns on the developer mode on Fresh service and looks for the port number here and serves as an app in the ticket sidebar, right? So this is the app and this is how it looks like. And this is called a front-end app, and it has access to various things around here. There is a lot of data on Fresh service here, and it will be very much accessible to this app to perform any of the things that's needed, right? So let me get back to the deck and direct test. So we have created our first app. So that was a Fresh service app. It's just a simple app, but the whole intention is to let you know how you do it. Yes.
How your Freshworks account is connected with that FDK?
So the account is not the one which is connected. So you can create any account. You can just create it you can sign up for it. It will give you a trial account. But when you start running it in the local, it runs a local host port, right? So when you turn on, as I just shown you here in the address bar, this is a generic URL. So this is how the app without dev is equals to true. So this is how it looks for the ticket number 27. When I append dev is equals to true in the URL and load it, this now the Fresh service will start looking for the port number, and then it will go for, it will look at the manifest and see what app it is, and then start showing it up here. So it's again a view of what we call embed stuff or iframe stuff is happening in the behind the scenes. You can also go to that specific port number and look out the app itself. So that works as, figuring it out. And then as we turn on this dev is equals to true, then it starts serving here. Any more questions? Yes. So in this specific topic, which I said about how you connect the local app to the running instance, there is a lot more. I just gave a glimpse in the abstract way. But if you go deeper, it's a lot of fun. You can even explore a lot of things, how it's happening even. All right. Let me go back to the slides. Yes. So now, as you now have seen how to build a simple, your first Fresh service app. Now let's look into what are all the types of apps that you can build with the SDK, the Freshworks SDK or Fresh FDK. Let's call it that, FDK. That's it. So now there are three kind of apps that you can build with the Freshworks Developer Kit. One is a Freshworks app. The list of apps that you have seen when you went to freshworks.com/apps, all of them are Freshworks apps, which are also called public apps. So these are these external functionalities of the Freshworks products. The whole intention is that. And then all of the Freshworks apps or the public apps are available from the marketplace. And then the next one is the custom app. So custom app are very specific to any problem or any business or any requirement. So even I can have a Fresh service account, and I can build my own app and choose not to submit for marketplace or get public. I have an issue and I'm solving it with the Freshworks app, with a custom app built with the FDK and using it. So it's a custom app which made for myself. So, and the custom app is not subjected to review. It's not even needed. You can build it and then run it, use it, and even make customizations if you want, and further and more. And the other thing is we call as a external app. So notice the highlight, I changed the color because these are not really apps built by FDK. These are actually applications built using Freshworks APIs or any methods or any data that has come from. So each of the Freshworks products has its own APIs, where now you can use those APIs and build an application by yourself by just going with your development skills, right? So if you wish to list them in our marketplace, you can actually submit them. So we tag them as external app. right? So I hope you got the difference of what a Freshworks app is, and a custom app, and also an external app, right? So these are the ways of the marketplace things, but majorly the applications which you see in the marketplace or in the app gallery. So simply freshworks.com/apps, those are Freshworks apps or public apps. Right. So again, with the one your first app that you have seen, that is a front-end app. So what I mean by that, you can build apps without dependencies on servers or backends. Without any of that, you can still build front-end apps and use the methods to perform some requests even. Into a certain level, you can get through, learn more about from the documentation, either what level of front-end things can be possible. And when you get to extending more possibilities, like you want to solve more, you want to do more with a single app, and you have a lot of things to do, then you can choose to build a serverless app, where that server is again the Freshworks Developer Platform. You don't need to worry about setting up config and nothing. Build it, submit, and get it running. So again, if you choose to go for event triggers, method invocation, and make some proxy calls, then you have to use serverless. You have to build serverless apps, which is not much different, but there is some extending things that you have to do when you shift from, when you learn front-end apps and then to service lab. There's a little difference. Ravi will be joining us to let us know how we can actually build a serverless app, which is kind of like integration between two products. Right, here we go. I think I called him in the right time. Thank you so much, and I look forward for any questions too. I'll hand it off to Ravi. So Ravi will let us walk us through how we can actually build an app. Thank you.
Hope you can hear me. Um, yeah, I'm Raviraj. I'm also part of the Freshworks team. Happy to meet you all. Uh, so far, you have seen building a basic Hello World app, right? So now we will also go and see how simple it is to build an actual business case through this app, right? Through this, we are just going to follow one tutorial we have made with the use case that is integrating Freshservice with GitHub to use GitHub issues as a issue tracking platform, right? And seeing the issues right from Freshservice, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to build a Freshworks app from scratch and then use OAuth 2.0 to connect with the GitHub. We need, of course, a Freshservice trial account to build the app. And of course, the Freshworks CLI, code editor, the background knowledge required for this building apps are basic web development with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, nothing beyond that. The use case we are going to see is Freshservice app connecting with the GitHub issues. Let's actually go and build this app, right? Let me make sure the other app is quit. Here, I have an app similar to how he has started with a template. I have created this app from a serverless template, a front-end app, actually, not a serverless, sorry. And then let me go to a tutorial that we will be going through. When you have time, you can go to this link and try out this tutorial. But today we will go through this faster, only do what is required, right? The setup is done. I have the repository ready. And we need a nice interface so that we can create a GitHub issue right from Freshservice, like how we've seen in the GitHub Freshservice ticket page, right? It will look something like this. This is the app we are going to build. Clicking on this create issue on GitHub button will create a issue in GitHub. View issue details link will show, open up a pop-up and show the details of the issue, right? A simple use case. For that, we need this UI. By copy pasting this link to this app.js file, sorry, index.html file, I'm going to get that UI, right? Here, if you could see, this is a basic HTML file. The fresh client is required by our platform to provide some methods needed for this app. Other files are like styles or basic styles to align with the product. Then we have attached an image. If you see, we have used a couple of components here that says Freshworks button. These are actually coming from this UI kit platform. What this is Freshworks has a open source UI kit called Crayons. You can check it out, crayons.freshworks.com. From this only, we are going to use a button. We have imported the style and theme, everything will match with the Freshworks products. So when you build apps, we have a lot of components. You use this component and those components are going to come out of the box and it will match with the Freshworks theme. It is also open source. Anyone can use it in any projects. We have imported now. Let me run the app. By FDK run, the app started running. Some part have not been shown to you yet. How do we interact with the GitHub, and how do we get inputs if we need to get some configuration from the admins while installing this app, right? That's what we will going to see now. How I am using OAuth here to interact with the GitHub platform is our platform supports OAuth 2.0. That is where we are defining those here, where I have defined the client ID, secret, all the configuration details required for OAuth app. And I have created an OAuth app in GitHub and provided credentials here. That will be popped up now, where I'm trying to install this app. 1 second. Okay, there is not much fun without breaking code, right? Yeah, let me try to fix it. I think, yeah, I have a wrong credentials. Since we are changing some configuration, we have to run the app again. Let me stop and run. Otherwise, if we make any UI changes, it will automatically reflect it. I'm going to this configuration. And this goes to GitHub's authorization page, where I will authorize the GitHub app to access a GitHub API on behalf of my account. Oh. Okay, thanks to extra safety. So the GitHub authorization is done. Now the credentials are stored here, where you can see, since we are running the app locally, the authentication is also stored here, where the OAuth handshake is completed and it got the access token to interact with the API right now. It is stored locally. When the app is published to production, it will be automatically stored in the platform and available to your app in the runtime. We are running this app and we got the handshake is done. This details again, I am getting as a installation parameter to get from the administrator, Freshservice administrator, I mean, to provide this detail, which GitHub repository you want to create this issue from, right? That is available in this configuration. We support installation parameters, we call it iparams. They are defined in JSON format here. I'm asking for GitHub repo, and type is text. We have variety of types, number and other things. Here I'm going to give repository detail. I have one fresh repository created for this. I'm going to provide that. Okay, this is successfully done. Since we are doing locally, this is how the UI response will be like. But when we install in production, that will be like app will proceed to the installation next to this, right? So we should be able to see this app in Freshservice right now. Let me just refresh this page. Oh, we are already seeing, so sorry, I didn't notice that. Okay, the app is running right now. We see the UI from this app that we have created. It won't probably work since we haven't added any logic to it yet, but we have all the configuration required. Let's go to next steps, right? In the app.js file, some files are already existing, but we haven't completed them. I have to add this. Let me explain when I'm pasting this code, right? So I just have a simple on state change event, and I'm going to render something, right? So that code we are just added. We have some lifecycle events in our app. So the app, you will know, similar to the front-end frameworks, like when the page loaded, you want to do something, right? Similarly, we have something called app initialized and app activated. So app initialized is like the app is rendered in the background whenever the page is loaded. App activated is like when the user opens the app, it will trigger app activated. And there is another event called app deactivated. When the page is closed or the app is closed, that event will be triggered. So you could write the logic accordingly. When there is some error, something unexpected happens, we are going to show the notification to the user. Here we are using, if you see, we have imported something called Fresh Client, right? It provides a client interface for the app, and we are triggering a notification from here. So this is from our documentation. This is one of the methods that Freshworks app provides, and it is under interface and notification. Using this syntax, we will be able to show a notification in this side in Freshservice, right? Let's go through next code. Next, what we are going to see is like when we are clicking those buttons, we need to do some actions, right? So let me add those code. So when clicking those buttons, we are going to create an issue and then show the detail in a separate modal. How we have we can implement a modal concept here is the app itself has a very less real estate, right? We can't show much detail here, though we have some option called resizing. The app height can be resized, but it cannot be width cannot be resized, right? When we need more real estate, that is where modal option comes. We have other interfaces like modal dialog boxes. We are going to use a modal and render a separate HTML file within this, right? I have added the code here, but not yet for the what to show in the modal yet. Let me go to the tutorial again. So it's running again. OAuth, I have also mentioned about this. We have done this configuration. Yeah, the credentials are done. We have also got the inputs, which GitHub repository to do. If you see, this code is already here. We have already listened to this click event from create issue, and we are calling this create issue. Then we have to actually write this create issue logic here, right? That is what I have here. Let me use this code and then I explain you, right? What we are doing here is I'm just getting inputs from the ticket. From the ticket, I'm going to take the ID and subject and description and use this to create the issue in GitHub, right? And I'm going to remember this details that, okay, for this ticket, I created this issue in GitHub, right? So I am using something called the data storage available from our platform. Client.db interface is available for the app to store any key value pairs. So I'm using that to store this. And we have something called client.request, which is similar to a request NPM to make API request. So our platform will act as a request proxy to all these APIs made from this app. For front end, you can safely make APIs through this way. We support OAuth. So API supporting OAuth can be done just from the browser, right? When you do in the serverless, you can also use any NPM HTTP library to make APIs also. Both are possible. So I have written all the logic, API logic to create the ticket. Once the ticket is created, I am just storing that mapping data in the data storage. I am showing a notification, right? This is done. So let's run this app, right? Hope it works. Okay, where am I? Anyway, let me refresh this page once since we changed a lot of things. Okay, the app runs here. So what I'm going to do, create an issue. Yeah, it shows a notification, GitHub issue got created. Since it's a toast, it got disappeared immediately. When you click view issue details, okay. I think some details we haven't added yet. So yeah, create issue worked fine. Next step, we will see the view issue details, right? Yeah, we haven't added any code to the modal yet, right? So we will fix that. Yeah, the issue got created and we got the notification. Let me show that repo, right? This is the repository I created the issue. Yeah, it created 40 seconds ago, you see. Yeah, it got the lorem ipsum subject line from the fresh service ticket, actually. So all the details available in this page is available to the app at free of cost. Like you don't have to make an API or anything. So the app just gets this data and it can be used. We have used that subject line to create this issue in GitHub, right? This is automatically done. Now, what if we have to show the details, right? We have to write some logic to get these details again. Let's go to next step. Here, what we are going to do is in the logic, let's write a immediately invoke function that just makes an API, get this detail of this issue from GitHub. I'm going to modal.js file, return this function. I also have to ensure that there is nothing else interrupting in the HTML. Yeah, we have worked upon. So it should show the details like this. Let's see if it works. So we already created the issue for this ticket 27. When I click on this button, view issue, let me refresh this page. Yeah, when I click view issue details, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, so the link is from the GitHub issue that we just created, issue number 8, if you remember. And the subject line from the issue. probably we can, since it's a tutorial app, we have some domain information. Probably you can put more useful information here. For example, when ticket is created, the agent might want to know if the bug is fixed or not, right? Automatically, maybe you can show the status here. Maybe you can show all the comments in the issues, right? Probably a lot more things are available, but we have shown a simple use case two-way sync here, right? And yeah, that is all in this sample, right? So we have completed one use case where with just front-end app, there is also, as Teja mentioned, there is also serverless app available, which you can build that runs on, depends on the events happening in Freshworks, right? Let's say, what if there is a ticket created in Fresh Service, you want to automatically close that issue or create that issue, right? You don't want someone to click on this button. That is completely possible with the serverless events. We also have more features on serverless. You can look at the documentation, freshworks.dev, right? Let's say we have completed this app. How do we ship it to the users, right? Let's just see the steps involved here. So it's not easily those public apps came here in the Freshworks Marketplace. All these apps have been developed with the users in mind and tested further, and the code is written in very good quality, ensured by Freshworks. That's why you see the verified by Freshworks symbol comes. So we have to ensure the same trust customers put on Freshworks products retained in all these apps available. While this app Play Store, we do not have any restriction. Anyone can come and build apps, right? How do we maintain that trust with all this free market, right? So that's where we have automated some stuff. When we quit this app, right, you see something called code coverage, right? So the CLI automatically tracks how much code you have tested, manually tested, right? So we expect 80% of the code in all these sections are tested manually by developers before submitting to the marketplace, at least. So at least whatever changes they make, they completely tested it. So that is when we verify the code coverage is 80%. We will go over see all the other details, like you have to pack this app and publish it. These are the steps you might be involved after completing the app, right? So after submitting the marketplace, we have an app review process, which is a standard review process. Like it takes around 7 days right now to review these apps. You might have heard even it's the same in Google Play Store or Android App Store. It takes some app review process. Maybe they have automated it or not. They will take some time to review these apps before allowing it to the Play Store, right? So we have seen this. So this code coverage needs to be 80% to submit the app. What else we do is we have some automatic checks. When you submit the app, this will be automatically rejected if less than 80% coverage is there in the app. It will be automatically packed along with the app. You have to do something called validate. We enable something called FTK validate command, which will do ES linting, linting in your app, maybe some custom validation we have so that we check it is error-free. And some good quality code is maintained. For example, a variable not used is a linting error. Maybe something wrong in the manifest JSON, that is some custom error. Those checks will be done before publishing the app, right? And you pack your app and submit it. Maybe Teja showed one UI with the different types of apps. You have to upload the app, and then you will have a lot of forms. So yeah, when you have a lot of errors and warnings, fix them and then submit the app. So once you submitted, what now, right? So yeah, you have to wait for 7 days. What we do in those 7 days, right? When you submit the app, it goes through all these reviews in our Freshworks Marketplace. Someone, these are all done in parallel or something. When the app is doesn't qualify, pass in any of these tests, the app will be rejected and the developer has to fix those things and quickly submit again. The app review would take the same. If there is any changes, review will go through again. If, let's say, there is only one stage failed, only that stage will be verified again, and the app will be listed in the Freshworks Marketplace, right? Code review is just someone, Freshworks expert, will looking at the actual app code and ensure there is no vulnerabilities or the code quality is good, just to ensure everything is good with the code, right? And quality is again like a manual functional testing. So somebody will actually test your app completely and ensure the functionalities are working as per your specification, right? And security reviews, we do some automatic security checks so that there is no data leaks, because all the data available for the apps are staying within the app or not. If needs to be transferred in a secure way on the GDPR compliance, things like that. Content review is when you publish the app to the marketplace, you have to put some details, right? App instructions, description, those details. That will be also be reviewed by some content expert so that your app is doesn't have errors in those and it attracts the customers well, right? So yeah, we understand it's a long process why we have this much restriction, but the customers really appreciate that all the apps are good quality apps in the marketplace. So yeah, it keeps continue. The penetration test is optional. We do it when you have like an extra compute server. You have to do some real-time synchronization. The app is interacting with your own server. It relies on some server on your own to even work. We have to do some penetration test to ensure that is also secure. So yeah. Yeah, that's all we wanted to cover. We will quickly go through what are all things we have learned today, right? Teja quickly introduced about Freshworks Developer Platform. Maybe we also showed more about why we need to build apps, right? This is not like a traditional independent app building. So SaaS could be totally new for someone, right? That is why you have to understand why you are doing this. So you would be after doing this, like you will appreciate it because it's less explored areas. So yeah. And you have set up the environment to build the Freshworks app, and we have quickly shown your first app, right? And then the different types of apps available, like you can build a custom private app for a single customer and like a freelancing, or you can build a public app and publish to marketplace like I shown, and any customer will find it in the marketplace and install it. And external app is not totally relevant here. And we have built this AutoCAD GitHub integration app to actually solve a business problem. And then we also seen publishing steps for the marketplace. Right? Yeah, that is all. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, questions are welcome now.
Ravi, I have a question here. So
Sure.
you showed about when you quit the application, there are certain coverage numbers shown, right?
Right.
Can you tell me what those are and how those are actually computed?
Sure. So here we are using Istanbul library internally within CLI to track the app source code to ensure the code is covered, how much code is covered. Basically, all the JavaScript files are tracked here. So if you see, there is also a coverage report, detailed coverage report. Let's see in this browser, right? So this is what is covered here. So we can see all this code are covered. For example, this particular code is not covered. Maybe trying out a GitHub issue that is already created. If we try to create again, probably this flow will be triggered and this will also be covered, right?
So when you say covered, it means that when I run the application, this part of this piece of code is getting executed.
Right.
Okay. And
Okay, so what Ravi mean by coverage in the sense, it's a usage. So when you execute or run it, how much, what is the, what all the code is got used, and there is a lot of unused code too, right? So there are some cases that might not execute all the time, and it's not good to have them, which are just written and never executed and never used. So this coverage thing, when you run the app, you have to perform all the cases. You have to break the app sometimes, and you have to run it successfully, so that it goes through the CLI now looks at, so the most of the coverage is used, most of the code is used. So that's where we call 80%, right? So if you write the code, the code in the app, at least 80% or more than that is the best, should be executed or should be used. So that, again, you have to go through all the cases. You break it or you run it and you get through all the features that you have added, but make sure you have it 80% or more than that is always the best thing, right?
This is not test coverage, but if you write test, this coverage will also be tracked again. Either you manually test it or write a unit test, doesn't matter, it will track it. So this is to ensure that we are, I have also mentioned, we are checking quality check. We actually test the app and run before submitting the app to the marketplace, right? So we want to ensure that developers already did that through this code coverage also. Mm-hmm. Okay.
What we talked about code coverage, but the major reason why we do it, because once even you submit the app, you have to go through a review process. And in that review process, we'll also have a test team who will be reviewing your app, and as well as from a content perspective. So when you already mark the 80% of code coverage, you might save a lot of time and you'll be able to publish your app on a marketplace sooner. So if you don't, check this and meet our standard, then you might have to probably go through a couple of round of reviews, because even once you submit, we have a review team specifically to go through all the apps, all the submission which we get, and then they give you some comments and feedback, and accordingly you work. And once you basically fulfill all the requirements, then only it gets published on our marketplace. So it's basically a bit longer process, but like Ravi mentioned, it's for the quality check, because we have customers who are using it on their regular basis while using our product. So that is the reason why this is very important. And I think last is your feedback, because it's very important for us to improve it every time. So please do scan this QR code and give us a feedback, because we really want to improve by every meetup and every session. So it will be helpful. And we also have some goodies. So everybody who's going to fill the survey will get some Freshworks Developer t-shirts, which we have bought it here for all of you. So we'll do that giveaway as well.
Hey, just one improvement. When we say 80% coverage, right? If you don't go through 80%, the app will get auto rejected. It won't even go to code coverage. So that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, the question was like for custom apps, there is no code coverage, right? So there is no review process at all for custom apps. So the direct customer installs the app and only use in their account. So if you are a customer, you can build an app and use it in your app. No restriction, nothing. So only the FTK validate will check before you pack the app. So there should not be any linting errors or anything. That is all. The code coverage and everything, app review process, everything for the public apps, where it will be listed in the Freshworks Marketplace for any customers to install the app.
Any other questions, folks? Anybody? Any questions on the webinar? Nope, I don't see any. Team Freshworks, should we call it a day?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So before we call it a day, first of all, thank you, Teja, thank you, Ravi and Juhi for coming here and giving us an extensive brief about your product. Thank you very much for that. I will also take 5 minutes of everybody's time over here. Before that, let me just go stop the recording.